Love a cup of tea? You're not alone. Tea is the most popular drink in the world after water. Many of the plants that make great tea can be found in your backyard or a nearby park. In this video, we are going to look at 9 plants that are easy to find in nature and make wonderful teas. Hi, I'm Amy, and welcome to my channel. A big thank you to my intern from a couple of summers ago, Kaya, who made all these teas to test them out and write an article that I'll link below. Many evergreens make fabulous teas that are delicious and healthy. I love fir tea. It has a crisp, citrusy smell. Choose new growth for the best flavor. Older needles tend to accumulate bitter tannins over time. Harvest from the tips of the branches, where they're often lighter in color. Young needles can be harvested year-round. Pine needles also make a delicious tea and is quite high in vitamin C. Pine makes a milder tea and is slightly more acidic, so I often like to add some honey. To make evergreen tea, just pour boiling water over a large handful of needles and let them steep for around 10 minutes. Cutting up the needles with scissors makes it easier for the needles to infuse. You can also use a tea infuser. Cedar trees are very common, and the tea is sweeter and stronger than other evergreen teas. One evergreen to avoid is the yew. Both the berries and needles are toxic. I would encourage you to take a class at a local nature center or extension office before foraging, especially if you are unfamiliar with local species. There are so many plants in the mint family that are both wild and domesticated. Check out my video on growing and using basil. You can also look for wild mints, like this wild basil, which are common. Purple dead nettle is another common wild mint that is easy to find and native to Europe, Asia, and northern Africa. It is now widespread in North America. It is a wonderful medicinal herb and full of powerful antioxidants. As well as tea, it also makes a great pesto. For plants with flowers, I often like to use an infuser. Just pour boiling water over the flower or leaves. An infuser can sit on the cup rim like mine, or get one that dips into the tea. Mullein has long been used as a natural remedy for a range of ailments, from respiratory to urinary issues. It can be easily identified by its tall spikes of yellow flowers and large velvety leaves. Although native to Eurasia, it has become a very common invasive species throughout the United States. Mullein leaves and flowers contain mucilage, which soothes our internal mucous membranes, and saponins, which help loosen mucus for more effective coughs. The tea can be made from fresh or dried flowers and leaves in the leaves of the mullein plant. Boil a few tablespoons of the leaves and flowers in water for a few minutes. Mullein leaves are covered in tiny hairs that can irritate your throat, so it's important to strain the tea through a coffee filter or use an infuser. Mullein makes a rich, soothing herbal tea with a kind of earthy flavor. Add a bit of cinnamon to the water as it boils and sweeten with honey at the end to create a fabulous sweet flavor. St. John's wort is a common yellow wildflower that grows across North America and Eurasia in sunny meadows and pastures. St. John's wort has long been considered a treatment for mild anxiety and depression and used in over-the-counter medications. Use caution and just a bit at a time. In high densities, St. John's wort can be toxic to grazing livestock. In the small quantities taken by humans in herbal medicines or tea, hypericin, the ingredient found in St. John's wort, is perfectly safe. Dried or fresh flowers and buds of this common weed make a calming, fruity tea. Sorry about that. A fruity tea that can be cold brewed overnight or steeped in boiling water for 10 minutes. Wild raspberries are common throughout North America and Eurasia. The berries are great, but the leaves make a tea with a strong aroma and sweet taste. Raspberry tea makes a fabulous iced tea. I think it's a great pick me up after laboring in a sunny garden. Clover tea is made from the blossoms. Clover is everywhere, and this is another great reason to let it grow in your yard. Red clover tea has a sweet, earthy flavor and aroma, while white clover tea has a slightly sweet flavor and a hint of vanilla. Place 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried red clover or white clover flowers in a cup or mug and pour boiling water over the herbs. You can then steep the herbs for 10 minutes before straining or just use a tea infuser. Enjoy it hot or cold. I like to forage in the spring when everything starts growing and because I'm just craving fresh foods at that time. But I will often pick a tad extra when foraging and dry them for later. I typically dry my herbs by hanging them, but you can also very easily use a food dehydrator. Foraging sustainably is very important. Know what grows readily in your area and make sure to not harvest any plants that are vulnerable. Also, make sure you are harvesting where it is permitted and where no pesticides are used. Make sure the plant is in abundance and leave plenty for pollinators and local wildlife. Stick to the trails so you are not crushing any native plants. Bring your children or young friends with you. Foraging is becoming a forgotten art. Not only is foraging a way to provide healthy foods, but it is a great way to introduce our children to the woods and fields. Everything is connected. The commercial tea industry faces many challenges in sustainability. Much of the tea we consume in the USA is grown in tropical third world countries without minimum wage laws and where workers are poorly compensated for highly strenuous work. Buying fair trade tea and growing or foraging for yourself can help combat these social issues. I encourage everyone, even in urban areas, to grow herbs and forage and make your own teas. I have a video on starting a medicinal herb garden that I will link here. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Thanks for watching and have a very sunny day.